What's up, people? We are back with another video. The YouTube channel is called South African Late News. The handle it is at KZN_ZA. We are back with another video and we still talk about this Senzomyo case. It's clear that Brigadier Gininda did a very poor job. Brigadier Gininda's poor investigation needs to be investigated by IPID. Clearly, he did not do a great job. He just focused on the innocent people like Mohandanzi and Musibiya. Gininda clearly ignored the fact that Ntanzi and Musibiya were choked and beaten up for hours so that they can give a fake confession. That is clear. Let us not forget that Gininda was also questioned about torture in another case that was between the states and Rodaven Krejcir. There was a very popular case. So Gininda and the allegation of beating up witnesses, it's not something new when it comes to his investigation. So Gininda has got some questionable past. So the police commissioner at the time, Keltas Tolle, he made a mistake when he appointed Gininda because Gininda did not do a proper investigation. Remember that he told the court that he did not speak to Kelly Khumalo after he realized that Kelly Khumalo was the mastermind. He said, "No, I'm not going to speak to Kelly Khumalo because she's a mastermind now. So I'll just wait." That is not how you conduct an investigation. The focus should have been on the people that were in the house because, statistically speaking, a man is likely to be killed by a wife, side chick, or someone that they know, someone that they have a connection with. The motive is normally about ukufeba, imali, and so on. So basically, money is the root of all evil. But Gininda decided, no, I'm not going to focus on the people in the house because there's a confession before me. That's when the problems began. He failed to get additional statements from the people that were conducting themselves, like Longotwala and Kelly Khumalo. That's very clear. Gininda also failed to arrest Mapiri for cleaning the crime scene. Mapiri was going to spill the bean if he was arrested. I'm sure of that. Why am I saying that? Mapiri was an older woman who was likely scared of prison. So if Gininda had arrested her and put her under pressure, she was going to speak because she was scared of being in jail. She was going to tell us who cleaned the crime scene. Remember that Maggie Peary is one of the people that were mentioned in docket 375. In total, I think there are 7 people that were mentioned in that docket. So if Gininda had arrested Mapiri then, she was going to tell the truth so that she is released from prison. Mapiri was going to tell us who told her to clean the crime scene. Remember, the aim of cleaning the crime scene is obviously getting rid of the blood, fingerprints, and any other evidence that might implicate the people in the house. That is straightforward. I'm sure that she even picked up the real bullets that came out of the revolver that killed Senzomyo, because the 9mm before court is not the murder weapon. That is clear. They just brought this gun because it is linked to Gadla, who is accused number 3. So Mangena also told the court that the gun was not on a closed bag. The bag was opened when he went to collect the gun. So if the container of a gun is open, it means that the police could have tampered with the gun, for instance, like changing the barrel of the gun so that it's linked with Ncube. So the gun that was tested by Mangena is just a compromise exhibit. It cannot be relied upon. We all know that Senzomyo and the other people that were in the house were drinking alcohol on the day. They were watching soccer, enjoying themselves, and drinking some beer. It's the evidence before court. But at the crime scene, there was less than 8 bottles of beers. But Tumelo told the court that they drank more than 1 6-pack of Heineken and Corona. I think Savannah, I don't remember what else. But then Sergeant Musia told the court that the floor had only a few bottles of beer. meaning that those bottles of beers were removed and the crime scene was cleaned. So the crime scene was tampered because no one had control of the crime scene. The person that told my parents to clean the crime scene is likely the person that killed Senzo Meyiwa. Yes. Remember, the evidence before court is that there was very little blood in the crime scene, so obviously it was cleaned. Senzo was shot in a chest area, so there should be a lot of blood going downwards because if you are shot in the chest, it contains lots of veins as well as the heart, so there should be a lot of bleeding. But Mosina told us that there was very little blood, which means it was cleaned. I strongly believe in the theory of Advocate Tefo. Tefo believes that Mapiri was told by Kelly Khumalo or Longitwala to clean the crime scene as they had something to hide. Yes, Chico's gun was taken for testing by the police. But if Chico Twala had that revolver, I'm sure that he keeps it away from the police because he's not stupid. He would hide a real gun because it's not dumb anyway. So the police were supposed to raid Chico's house after Senzo was killed. Then they could have found the real gun that killed Senzo, which was allegedly used by Longotwala. Instead, the police, they asked Chico to hand over his gun. Obviously, Chico Twala was not going to hand over a revolver because he's not stupid. So obviously, he was going to give them a wrong gun that is not linked to the murder. So that's the second step that they made. That they made an error. When you do an investigation, you don't ask people. You do conduct raids so that you can find all the evidence that can implicate people. The fact that Chico Twala was the first person that was phoned by Kelly Khumalo is very suspicious on its own. Kelly did not phone the ambulance. Kelly did not phone the police, but he phoned Chico Twala. And we all know that in 2014, Longotwala was heavily on drugs, and his father has confirmed this on TV, Newsroom Africa, ANC, and SABC. So it's not a secret that Longotwala was on drugs. So Longo's behavior on the day could have been influenced by drugs, hence he was not well after this. So his behavior on the day could have led in the death of Senzo Meyiwa. That is the theory that was stated by Tefo and Advocate Ngomezulu. He said Longotwala shot and killed Senzo Meyiwa when there was a fight, or the word that they used, they said there was a scuffle, yeah, and then Senzo was killed by accident. So it's evidence before court. It is alleged that Longotwala arrived at the Khumalo house and he suspected that Zande Khumalo was cheating on him, so his anger was directed at Senzo Meyiwa. Then Senzo Meyiwa was shot by mistake in that scuffle. Then the people in the house made up the story of an intruder. The DNA evidence showed that the 5 accused before court were not in the house because the DNA doesn't match them. So the story of the intruder is just a lie, it's just bogus. But Gininda did not kill Khumalo. To ask about the photo of the money bag that was allegedly found in the photo album of Kelly Khumalo, the same photo was also found in the photo album of Longotwala, as well as in the photo album of accused number 3, Mr. Ncube. Gininda said that there was no need to call Kelly Khumalo as she was a suspect at this stage. I totally disagree with this approach. Gininda should have asked Kelly Khumalo to fully explain via an affidavit the story of the money bag. If she lied under oath, then Gininda was going to be able to charge her with perjury, which is lying under oath. So he should have called her to give an additional statement so that there's clarity about the photo of a money bag. As we speak, Gininda did not ask Kelly Khumalo about that photo. So that is just a poor investigation by Gininda. And it's very suspicious. It's very suspicious. And Kelly Khumalo's behavior after Senzo Meyiwa was killed, it was very strange. Firstly, he refused to give the ID of Senzo Meyiwa to his father. Ivan Khoza had to beg her to give the ID to Mr. Meyiwa Jr. Why would Kelly Khumalo keep Senzo's ID? That is a question. Did Kelly Khumalo take out a life cover on Senzo Meyiwa's life? That's a question. Then if he did take out a life cover, then she probably killed Senzo Meyiwa for money-related reasons in that house. So obviously, we will never know because Gininda did not take additional statements. Gininda did not grill Kelly Khumalo, so we'll never know. The evidence before court shows that there was a SIM swap done on Senzo Meyiwa's phone a few hours after he was killed. In order to do a SIM swap in this country, you need an ID and a proof of address. So we already know that Kelly Khumalo was in possession of Senzo's ID because she refused to give it to Senzo's father. So it's clear that she's the one that did the SIM swap. Kelly Khumalo did the SIM swap on Senzo's phone. And that on its own is a crime that Gininda should have charged Kelly Khumalo for. But Gininda did not do that because he's such a bad policeman. You should have charged her for fraud. That's fraud. So my question is, did Kelly Khumalo bribe Gininda or any other police investigators? That's a question I'm asking. I'm not saying it. It's a question. All that you have to do is to connect the dots, because the behavior of the police towards Kelly Khumalo is very shocking. She was treated like a victim in this case, and no questions were asked. Even in December, she had a police protection when she was performing somewhere in the festive season. So Kelly Khumalo is being treated by soft gloves. You would think that Kelly Khumalo is the president of this country, but in actual fact, she is nothing. And Gininda's investigation mostly relied on Zungu's hearsay evidence to link all these 5 accused before court. Yet Zungu did not provide a good reason why he kept quiet for 4 years. That's the big question. Zungu failed to explain why he did not open a case against Ntuli, because you must remember that Zungu told the court that accused number 5, he threatened to kill him. But Zungu still did not open a case. What is that? Clearly Zungu is lying. He would have opened a case if that happened. Zungu is a police officer, so he knows how these things work. He knows that if someone threatens you, you immediately open a case with the nearest police station, but Zungu did not do that. So Zungu is a very dodgy character. He's someone that is very suspicious. And then Gininda, he fails to get Section 205 for Zungu for the month of October. The state also failed to get Zungu's tracker information. You must remember that Zungu was driving a police car on the day Senzo was killed. So his telephone records and tracker records were going to prove his location on the 26th of October 2014. So the new lawyer must focus on the line of questioning. Why was Zungu's Section 205 not provided? I suspect that it is hidden by the police because it does not fit their narrative. It doesn't. It says something. Maybe it shows that Zungu was not in the hostel, like he says. So in summary, the case against the 5 accused is very weak, and Gininda should have done more to investigate Longotwala, Kelly Khumalo, and also everyone else that was in the house. But those 2 should have been the main suspects in this case. But because Gininda is Gininda, he did what he did. The truth would probably not be revealed because of his poor investigation. But anyway, there's nothing much we can do. Thank you for watching. Do remember to subscribe to this page. It is called South African Late News. It's on YouTube and on TikTok. Thank you very much.